Hi, everybody. This is Catherine Keating Kay, and I am your host for the free interview series, Relax Now Naturally, easy practices that bring you sanity, calm, and less stress in minutes. The reason I'm doing this is because people often leave my office or practice or private treatment and they go off into the world, and then they're left with not knowing what to do when they start feeling their anger come up or their fears come up, and then they're overwhelmed and they just don't know how to handle it. So I want everyone to have a little survival kit, a little bag of tools that you carry with you wherever you go. You practice them so you have them and know how to use them for those times. And that's why I want everyone to have that. It's going to be invaluable to you. So listen to all of these 21 interviewers because they all have such great, easy tips for you. Now, my guest today is Jill Ruttenberg, my dear, dear friend who owns AmaTierra Center. It's a wellness center. It's a retreat center. It's an organic foods place. It's in the pristine mountains of Costa Rica. And if anyone could get there at any time, I really advise, if you want to just decompress, have someone there to help you decompress, Jill is the person. She is an hatha yoga instructor, so you'll get yoga every day outside under a beautiful canopy. She's a massage therapist, a registered clinical herbalist, over 30 years experience in Chinese and Western herbs. She's a professional nutritionist. So holistically, she puts this whole package together just for you. People go there to de-stress and heal in these beautiful, pristine mountains. It's just a place I can think of and just decompress thinking of it. So I want to introduce Jill because she is a wealth of knowledge and we want to learn as much as we can from her. So Jill, hi, how are you?
Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for this time together. I'm excited to share.
Good, good. Well, you do so many things in your practice at the retreat center to help people deal with stress. What do you find most helpful? I mean, do you use herbs exclusively or massage or nutrition or yoga? How do you just wrap that up for people?
Well, of course, what we do at our retreat center is everything. It's all of all of the things. We have daily yoga classes. You start your day that way before a really healthy breakfast. We have our own chickens, have our own eggs. Wonderful fruits grow here on the property and also all over Costa Rica. And we do have our organic gardens. We're on 7.5 acres here, so we have a lot of fruit trees. There's over 60 mango trees. So starting with your body, nutrition, yoga, massage, different bodywork treatments, different energy treatments, and also I am a clinical herbalist, so I help people with, a lot of people come in with stress and with a lot of unanswered questions, and I try to answer some of those questions. People are wondering these days, is gluten bothering me? Is dairy bothering me? So we go through people's nutrition and we find out, because that alone can relieve a lot of stress if you know the foods that are right for your body at this time to be eating. So I have a lot of things in my toolbox, as you were talking about toolbox. And I also do a lot of work with trying to heal and calm the emotional body. And those things are, excuse me one second.
Okay, no problem. Jill is at her business as we speak, so this is not unusual.
They did. Okay. So that's good.
Okay, so we get into people's emotions too, and And people, I guess, come there with anxiety. They come from places like New York City or, the big cities to calm down. But I mean, still when they get to a place, they have kind of forgotten how to do that. So how do you help them with that?
That's true. That's true. Well, the first thing I always tell people is you have a good friend living right inside of you, and that's your breath. So the first line of defense, whenever you start to feel anxious or feel stressed, is to take a big, deep breath. Let's do that together right now.
Okay.
In the nose and out through the mouth. And if you say the word ha or ah, you're instantly lowering your blood pressure and lowering your pulse rate.
Oh.
They've studied this at UCLA in Los Angeles. They've studied a lot about sound healing, for example, and using your own sounds to heal yourself. And it's something when we sigh, we do it naturally, and it helps us calm down right away. So 3 to 5 deep breaths I ask people to take right away. And to remember that you always have it. You always have your breath. You might not always have an herbal remedy handy, but you always have your breath. You might not always have time to practice yoga or meditation right at the moment that you're stressed.
Yeah.
But you always have your breath.
Let's do that breath with the ah.
Okay, let's do it. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Take a big inhale. Already, I'm calmer. How about you?
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah. So, so a lot of things in my toolbox, I do tell people, I show people a few techniques that I've learned along the way. One is called Get Rid of Worry Fast. And I'll show you what I've got a little diagram that should help take a look at, and you can see what we have here. This is, well, let's see, I can see my name covering it up. But,
yeah.
But basically it's your hand. Okay. So if you would just take, your left hand and perhaps just hold your thumb, this is the W part. This is the worry stuff. So we have acupuncture meridians in the body that all connect with certain emotions. So the thumb is for worry. And then we go to the word fast. So you see the index finger F for fear, the A for anger, and you have the S for sadness. That's the ring finger, and then you have the pinky finger. This isn't really an emotion, but this is trying too hard. This is, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, you're trying to please her, you're trying to please him.
Yeah, a little anxiousness in there.
Right, trying too hard.
Yeah.
So you find yourself trying too hard, you hold that finger. If you're anxious, I like to hold between the thumb and the index finger, and you just hold that. You can do it in your lap. You can be at a job interview, something that makes you anxious, and you'll find you can just have your hands in your lap. No one has to know you're doing it, but you just hold those one finger at a time, and for as long as you feel it. Maybe it's 30 seconds, maybe it's longer. I also use this if sometimes if I can't sleep and I wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep. It works really well for insomnia. So by the time I do both hands, and by the time I'm on the third hand, I'm usually asleep. Just one finger at a time. It isn't even necessary to be thinking of that emotion to make it effective. You're just holding. And this one does come from Jin Shin Jitsu, as you know, Kathy, because that's a practice that you do with people. And that's a Japanese healing art form, self-help form that is very specific. So the Wo-Fast is good. And you can just draw yourself the hand and, W-F-A-S-T. Very simple. So that's another good one.
Yeah, I'm so happy that shows that it's simple and it's something that you remembered that, was passed on to you, and you're passing it on to other people. I mean, that's how simple it is to remember. And you carry your hands with you everywhere you go. And your breath.
Right. You always have your breath.
Yes, and you always have your breath. I'm so glad you brought that up because, you don't, like you said, always have your bottle of herbs with you, or you can't just stop and meditate or, do some yoga postures maybe, but you can do the breath and the fingers. Look at your beautiful land outside. There we have another picture there, and that's AmaTierra.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. So tell us, what herbs do you like to use?
Flowers right now. Well, the herbs that I use for calming, now my favorite herb for calming is kava kava, and it's a root that comes from Fiji and the South Pacific Islands. It grows there. And in fact, it has a little bit of a legend behind it. The tribal people who live on those islands, if they get into a conflict with another tribe, the tribal leaders will get together and they'll make themselves a big bowl of, it's a big root. So they'll take the root and macerate it and move it around a big mortar and pestle with water. And it makes kind of a milky substance. It's very bitter tasting. And they'll drink the kava and then they're calm. And then they start to talk about what it is they want to resolve. Wow. So I like kava because it doesn't make you tired. A lot of our other, what we call nervines in herbal medicine, a lot of the other nervines will make you tired. But kava doesn't generally make you tired. So it's something, it just takes the edge off the anxiety. And the only counterindication of kava is if you have active any kind of liver disease or a history of liver disease, you wouldn't want to take it. But otherwise, it's a wonderful herb. You can take it in capsules. The tincture works a lot faster. And a tincture, by the way, is something that you usually find in bottles like this. I have a company here called AmaTierra Integrative Herbs because I integrate the Chinese herbs, the Western, what we call the Western herbs that come from North America and Europe, and some of the herbs that grow right here in the tropics I put in these formulas, and also some Ayurvedic herbs that are used in the Ayurvedic pharmacy from India. But a tincture, people don't all know what that is. It's different than a tea. A tea is something where you usually boil water and you'll put the herbs directly in, and you either boil them or steep them, and then you drink the water. The tinctures are made by usually using some kind of a solvent like alcohol is what is the best actually to use, ethanol, pure alcohol. And you soak the herbs in the alcohol for a couple of weeks, and then you strain them out, and the liquid is what you have, and it's a very powerful medicine. So the tincture of kava is pretty strong, and it does work really fast, but I recommend probably the capsules for most people. This is my Sleep Well tincture, which is, I'm making 4 tinctures right now. I make one for sleep that you take just about a half an hour before bed, and you can also keep on your bedside table. We do ship these. We make them here in Costa Rica, but we do ship these, and they're not very expensive to ship. They cost $15 a bottle, so they're not expensive to buy either. And there's one for menstruation. There's one for joints that's wonderful that has the turmeric and ginger that we grow right here on the property. Ooh. And then we have a strong defense one that helps your immune system, helps boost your immune system. But at any rate, I get off track a little bit. Sorry, Kathy.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. What I was going to say is that kava kava is one that I like a lot. Chamomile tea is another nice one, or Melissa, which is lemon balm, and oat straw that actually comes from the straw from the oats is a very good calmer. That's a mild calmer. You can get into some of the more stronger ones like hops, like they make for making beer, or skullcap, which is also good for withdrawing from any kind of an addiction like nicotine addiction, things like that. Is skullcap really calms you down.
Cool. So tell us really quick, when someone comes to see you and wants treatment from you for whatever issue, what does it look like as your patient or as your client? They come to the AmaTierra Wellness Center, and I suppose you're feeding them good food, like you mentioned. They have yoga, and now you've introduced herbs. You've introduced nutrition. Is there anything I'm missing? It sounds like it's really a rounded course of action to help people, then they can take that home with them.
Exactly. Well, what they do when they first come, I usually sit down with them and find out what their goals are. We also have a detox program here, and that's 5 or 7 nights. And we do some of them. We have a group one coming up May 26th, coming up here soon. But when people first arrive, I talk to them, I find out what their situation is. And I mean, we're talking about the whole person. So maybe they just got, they're just getting divorced, or maybe they just had a child go off to college, or maybe, a parent or a close loved one has passed on, or maybe they're just coming because they're stressed out from work. Whatever it is, we talk about, what their goals are. And then I make recommendations, usually in the packages that we offer, a full body massage is offered in that package. But if they're coming specifically for nutritional consultation and herbal, we go into my office, which I have a beautiful apothecary in there. I have a great view of similar to the view here, but it's even bigger, of the mountains. And I act a bit like a Chinese doctor because I'm trained in traditional Chinese medicine and studied also in China recently in an advanced herbal medicine training there. And so I'll look at their tongues. If you've never been to an acupuncturist, you might not know that. I look at your tongue and take your pulses on both hands. We have pulse points that on both hands that correspond to different organ systems in the body. I'm asking you about your life. I'm asking you about your support system, about how your digestion is, about basically everything about your life that you want to talk about, that that's and it's all confidential, of course. And then I recommend supplements or herbs that I can give you, or that you can go back home and get. I do follow-up calls for people if they want that, and usually it's a good idea. But also I encourage them to find a person they can work with in their town if they really have some issues that need ongoing support.
That's great. That's great to have an all-around assessment like that, and to be in a place where you can actually take that time to decompress. So,
and meditation, I wanted to say one word, Kathy, about meditation, if you don't mind, because that's a big part of what I recommend to people. We do daily meditations here, usually at sunset. But even if you don't have time to join a meditation group, or you don't have time to meditate for 20 to 30 minutes every single day, and I really recommend that, especially as a transition time, maybe if you're working in a regular job, between, as soon as you get home, just don't rush into the home life. Take that transition time and do 20 minutes of meditation. But even if you can't afford that much time, 10 minutes a day can really, really be helpful, no matter what kind of meditation you do, to have that peace and quiet, to have that stillness, to help refocus the mind and calm everything down. It's just, I feel, critical.
And you also mentioned to be in nature, or just to pet an animal, or, look at the trees and listen to the birds, and just to reconnect your soul to where it truly is.
Yeah, connecting with the earth is, I think, really, really important. And there's some new studies coming out, too, about grounding, about walking barefoot on the earth, that are just showing it can reduce inflammation like crazy in the body. So that's a really helpful thing. But also, I mean, the thing that calms me down the most when I get to go to a different environment is being in nature, taking walks in the woods. We have beautiful trails here, so I'm very lucky. But if you're living in a city, focus on when you're walking, you see a pigeon. Well, there's pigeons everywhere, but that's an animal. That's a live being, right? That's a live being. Squirrel comes by. Notice it. Notice the tree that it's climbing on. If you have houseplants, take a little extra time to water them slowly, so you can kind of feel the essence of that plant coming in, connect with you. And
I'm so excited because you have a free gift for everyone. So could you tell us what that is?
Yes. Okay. I have actually 2 free gifts, and we have a special website to send you to for that. One is that we're offering 10% off of our 5 or 7 night packages here at AmaTierra. And,
Great.
and so that's a really good savings. And the second gift is a detox smoothie recipe.
Oh, cool.
Smoothie recipe that also has some protein in it. It's based on
Wonderful.
hemp or brown rice protein. And,
so right under this video that you're watching, just press the button there, and that will take you to the 10% off and also the smoothie. Wow, that sounds awesome. Thank you, Jill.
And it's even a smoothie. Excuse me. It's even a smoothie that if you're not detoxing, it's a good thing to have as a meal replacement now and then.
Oh, good. Good to know. I would imagine it'd be high in protein also.
Yeah, the hemp and pea protein or the brown rice protein is what we recommend. Some people like to use whey isolate, and I want to say a word about that because a lot of people don't know this. The whey protein, there's 2 types. There's the whey concentrate that has a lot of lactose in it. So people who are lactose intolerant should stay away from that one. Or if you suspect you have problems with dairy, stay away from that one. But the whey isolate, you can think of they're isolating out the lactose. So that's how you can remember the difference between the 2.
Oh, thank you.
Isolate is a little bit stronger than the vegetable proteins, the hemp or brown rice protein. But check in your health food store because you can find all 3 of those and make a good base for a shake.
Oh, thank you so much. I want to thank you. I want to get down to AmaTierra again as soon as possible and de-stress myself. And I always enjoy your food and the peacefulness and the pool and the trails. Everything is so beautiful there. So thank you, Jill, for joining us today. Thank you, viewers. Remember to press that button and get that recipe and the 10% off. And I'm just going to say goodbye. Thank you. And Jill, you want to put up? Yeah, there she is, AmaTierra. And take it back just a little bit. Yep, AmaTierra.com. Just go there. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.